Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for fire, this is the bonus reading for January of 2026. So if you are Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or have fire high up in your chart, this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, I'm just chatting here while I pull the cards. You can check out in the link in the description. It's a natal chart through Llewellyn. It's not sponsored or anything like that, but it is a really good basic chart. Gives you your 12 houses with all little signs and symbols in it, and you can check that out if you like. There's a little section when you do get your charts that talks about your elemental alignment. Most people have 2 elements that are dominant and 2 that are either way lower on the totem pole or non-existent altogether. So it kind of gives you an idea of where your balances actually fit in. With the bonuses, I like to use the Celtic cross. It gives us a little snapshot of time so we can see where you're at in this moment. These are general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. And with that, we will get started with your significator. This is who you are in this moment. So this is the totality of you in the now. And fire, you are the high priestess. So you're on your journey, spiritually speaking, or it could be physically speaking too. And you're standing between the pillars of beauty and severity. So this is actually saying you're in a balanced state and you're in alignment or growing alignment with your intuitive nature. See the moon there? We're also looking at this reaching out towards the divine feminine. You may not fully connect with that energy in this particular moment, but you're striving for this. It's also a really good indicator of good luck or success coming your way because of spiritual growth and spiritual knowledge. So in the moment, fire, you're looking really good as far as like where you're at in totality. The energy that is crossing you or your challenge is the 8 of Pentacles. This energy always comes across to me as being too focused on one thing, even though you have a lot of other energies going on. This is that call to don't get hyper focused on one thing. And so your challenge this month is to basically be aware that you have a lot of different irons in the fire. If you're too focused on work, don't forget your family. If you're too focused on family, you still have a job. You know, it's that type of an energy of seeking balance is what I'm getting with this. It's also saying that you have a lot of energies and a lot of power built up already. So you've got some balls rolling down the hill, snowballs rolling down the hill, and they're gaining momentum. So if you hyper focus on just one thing, you might get ran over by the rest. So your challenge is to make sure that you're staying aware of your surroundings physically and spiritually, because that's what's going on here. Your higher self energy, this is the highest aspect of who you are. You have the 3 of Swords. This one always comes across as a little bit of a betrayal or something that you were unaware of that came through and maybe bit you in the rear end a little bit. But what I'm getting with this one as your higher self is you've overcome this. You've had to go through a process where you've dealt with something from your past that was a little bit of a backstab, or it was something that skewed your view of a situation or of yourself. And your higher self is really wanting to bring in this energy of, yes, this happened. Now we need to heal from it. We need to reflect and figure out how we can make sure this never happens again. And it may happen in a different form, but that exact situation, because you've done a lot of healing is what I'm hearing, fire. And so this is not something that you're having to dredge up from the depths of hell. It's more of, oh, that still is affecting me. Okay, how am I going to work through this? So there may be some outside help that you might want to look towards, or it could be admitting to yourself that you actually have grown beyond. So this may be your permission from your higher self to say, you have already dealt with this. You do not need to carry it any longer. It's time to let it go. So we'll look at your shadow now. This is the Sire of Cups. Excuse me. This is saying that your subconscious wants you to understand that you're not alone through this, and that as you have succeeded, others have been watching you. You've been basically the teacher to an apprentice, is what I'm hearing here. And it's also, this is an emotional thing, where with your higher self is saying, yes, you've had the situation, you've healed from it, you've grown from it. Your shadow is wanting you to understand that all lessons in life are coming to you as a way for you to show them to the next generation. It's not something so simple as, okay, I dealt with this, so I'm good and I can go on. No, no, no. You are being the living example. You are living a life that is allowing you to teach others. And in this energy, it's coming up. This could be an emotional thing. This could be teaching. Fire, I'm feeling that this is like specifically you're teaching your daughters, or the feminine children that you have, however you want to see that. I'm saying daughters specifically though. How to overcome adversity, how to process when they feel that they have been backstabbed. You have lived this existence of the higher self, and this has been a powerful lesson for you, because you had to grow through this because it never happened until you were older, basically is what I'm hearing. But because of how you overcame it, your shadow is saying, now don't forget, you're here to teach this. And your shadow is where we hide the stuff we don't want to deal with. So you may have been trying to buffer your children or buffer this person from ever having this experience. Your shadow's like, no, don't do that. Explain to them, show them through your example that if something happens, this is how you can handle it. And there's always another option to handling situations, but it's saying that you get to be the one to show them the way for this. And this is, I'm feeling, Fire, that this is not something you're comfortable with, because you've always wanted to kind of be behind the scenes in most of this emotional stuff. You're like, that's not for me. In this one, it's actually better if you do it, because you try to avoid the public spotlight. And that's going to help this other person understand that you don't have to make it loud and boisterous. You can actually do the healing, inner healing, quietly at home with, maybe a therapist or something. But it's about healing and growth because of a challenge that you've already experienced. And in reality, let's look at these cards, these three together. You have your higher self saying, you've overcome this. You're standing in the middle pillar area, so you are standing between beauty and severity, because the beauty is you get to show the future how to handle the situation. And by doing that, Fire, by showing them the proper way to handle situations that are challenges, that are struggles, that may feel a little bit even like betrayal, when you show them how to process this in a healthy manner, you're actually breaking a cycle. You're stopping this type of energy from moving forward, because you're not using it from a reactive state of aggression and you're gonna fight the situation. You're not doing that. You're showing them that, yes, this stuff can happen, this is how I dealt with it, and if you take this type of a path, you can actually neutralize the situation altogether, and it stops it from repeating a pattern. Your immediate history is the Six of Cups. There's this energy of celebration for overcoming, but I'm also feeling like there is an offering to divinity. Like in your history, you've celebrated because you've overcome so much, and this could be tied to that higher self situation. And that's a good thing. It's also showing that there is this prosperous, abundant energy coming in. Like, don't forget, yes, this one might be empty in the moment, and because you've offered it to the divine, but you have so much more that's available to you. And your history is saying that, yes, you've had to deal with a lot of some interesting challenges. They're not showing me specifics, again, general readings, but there's been some challenges that you've dealt with, and you've overcome every single one. And you've overcome because of your will, your divine will, capital W, your connection to source. And with that, that's how you've been able to get to the point of balance where you are now, standing between these two pillars with the intuitive guidance that is growing stronger by the day, because you have opened up to a higher frequency of life and light. Your immediate future, now this is getting into your energy finally, We have the Four of Wands. Your immediate future is celebratory. This is a really positive energy that's coming in. You have, because you've overcome all of this, your immediate future, Fire, is celebrating with friends. You know how to do this, and it could be with this person that you're teaching with your shadow. This is a time for joy. This is a time for really cutting loose and having fun. So your immediate future, this could be the next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is understand you've dealt with enough, you've overcome enough. Now it's time to celebrate this. It's time to embrace the joy of living again, getting out there and having a blast. The energy I'm feeling is very strong in this just like bubbly joy, this almost giggly, giddy aspect of things. And that could be leading into a relationship, that could be just leading into you got the promotion, you got the house, you got the apartment, you got the car, whatever it is. You've achieved something with this celebratory action. So that's a very, very good feeling that I'm getting here. So where are we at? Attitude, this is your inner world, the Ten of Wands. This one is a little bit about carrying too many burdens. You've succeeded, you've overcome, you've done all the things, but you feel like you still have to carry around this burden of what if. And Fire, I'm getting very clear language. Put it down. You do not need to carry this any longer. Put it down. You've done the lessons. Therefore, the weight of the emotions, of the drama, so to speak, are done. Put it down. Fire, you have accomplished things, and that's where the Ten of Wands is success, but it's also carrying a burden with it. Let the burden go. You do not need this anymore. Go fly with your brethren up here and your sisters in the sky. Put down the burden, because Fire, you're better than that. You have always been better than that, but sometimes you have to have that reminder of tap, tap, tap. What are you doing? Put that down. And your outside influences, these are the things in your environment, things that you don't have any control over. You have the Queen of Swords, and this one is another one of those happy, sad cards. She feels like she's lost. So the Queen of Swords feels like there's a loss here. And in the outside world, the energy around you, you may feel like you've lost something, but it's not true, because you have actually hatched even more than you thought you had. The blue butterflies are good luck, they're joy, they're happiness, but they're also bringers of peace and security. So yes, the egg that hatched didn't hold another dragon, it held 11 butterflies. It holds all of the beautiful white flowers, which are representative of peace. You have achieved, the environment around you has changed. You feel lost because you think that, well, it's not how I planned. Okay. Are you in a better place, though? Because the environment is shifting in accordance with your divine will. You may not have control over what's happening out there, but it's shifting anyway. And that's this energy that's coming in, is it's actually shifted into a aligned state with who you are. You just didn't realize it, which is typical of us humans. We have this bad habit of putting blinders on. So in the moment, your inner world is saying, put down the burdens, quit worrying about it. And the Queen of Swords is saying, look around. You've already achieved so much. And when you put down the burden, you can see that. So that's that combination of within, so without, as above, so below. You're being called to alchemize this use alchemy and transmute the situation into a higher frequency. And really, it's about just seeing what you already have. Your hopes and fears. Oh, well, that's interesting. We have the Ten of Swords. Your hope is that you have finally conquered the last of the monsters that you've had to deal with. But the fear is, what if there's one more? The energy I'm getting right now is, Fire, there's always going to be one more. That is such a common thing, is like, oh, I've overcome, so I won't have to deal with this again. Well, maybe not the situation, but there's always going to be more challenges. But the Ten of Swords is also saying you now have the knowledge, you have the skills, you have the belief in yourself and in God's source. You don't have to worry about those challenges anymore. The Ten of Swords is saying you have completed a cycle of expansion. Swords are also air and wisdom. So you have gained wisdom, knowledge, plus experience You know what you're dealing with. And you also know that it doesn't matter what comes up, fire, you've overcome everything else. And when you can overcome, like your higher self says, the betrayal of others, where your heart feels like it's been ripped out of your chest, you've overcome that. And now you're being called to soften that for the next generation. Show them the healthy way to move forward. And when that happens, the next logical step is joy and celebration. So this is your energy that's moving here. And with the 10 of Swords coming in as your hopes and fears, cling to the hope of, you know what, I've got this. It doesn't matter what comes to me. It doesn't matter if it's a work thing, if it's a personal thing, if it's the world goes crazy thing. You have the ability to deal with it. And that's what's coming up here. So your attitude, environment, hopes, and fears, all of those beautiful cards, you have got a really strong indicator. Let's see if I can hold these up without making a mess. That you have done so much healing and so much growth. It's time to put down the burden, see what you have, and understand how far you've come. And when you do that, it's going to just settle in like, oh, what am I worried about then? Good question. So your overall outcome is the 4 of Pentacles. This one is always kind of fun because it has this energy of prosperity and abundance, but in a relaxed state. Because yeah, you know where your money is, you know where your prosperity is, your abundance, however you look at that. So why are you working so hard for it? When we really tap into the energy of the law of attraction, the secret manifestation, things like that, we understand that our flow state is actually ease. And that's what this dragon is showing, is like, yeah, the money's here, the abundance is here, the prosperity is here, whatever you define those words as in reality, because abundance could be you have the partner you've always dreamed of, you've got the kids, you've got the white picket fence in the house, the 2.5 dogs, whatever it is. Whatever your abundance looks like for you, your outcome is saying you already have it. And it's not because you've had to struggle. Let go of the struggles, put down the burdens, see what you have. The 4 of Pentacles is saying you have so much more than you give yourself credit for, fire. There's this overall, this reading is really just a call to remember what you knew before you came into this world. And when you do, I'm feeling that I just keep seeing this door unlocking, like a key, the old school skeleton keys, going into a lock and the door being pushed open. And that's when you accept and understand that you've done all this to break a generational pattern, to break a generational cycle. You may not even realize you've done this, just so you're aware. But if you are worried or struggling or like, I know I've already dealt with this, why am I still carrying this? This is your call to let it go and tap into flow state. Get into the moment of now. And that is not always the easiest thing in the world to do, because you want to worry about the future and worry about the past. That's not necessary. This month is about coming to that understanding. There's an underlying theme here of the 5 of Cups. And this is, again, that reminder. Why are you worried over the things of the past? This is your future. The past is the past. You can't fix it. You can't unspill the cup. Like, that just doesn't work. But if you look to the future and realize what you actually have, you're actually doing better than you thought. And with this as your underlying theme, and this is your outcome, which is the 4 of Pentacles, look around you and see what you have. This is this. You are in the success state. You're in the positive flow state. You just need that reminder that, yeah, things might be dark, and this is a January energy, so it could be just the fact that it's cold and miserable outside. There's not a lot of snow where I'm at. I don't know about where y'all are at, but where I'm at, there's just not a lot of snow, which is also not helping moods of a lot of people I know. So there's definitely a positive outcome here, and it's saying, the energy I'm getting is really saying, don't worry so much about about the past. Your shadow and the ego aspect of the shadow is trying to make you feel shame over something that it has no right to do. You have already processed this. And this reading, I'm just feeling very called to remind you, you've overcome, you've moved beyond, put down the burden. It's no longer necessary. So before we hop into the oracle cards, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you see something different in the cards I hold up, feel free to comment down below. It's always interesting to hear what other people see. I read intuitively, so the messages may not be exactly what the cards' meanings are. So if you see something different, like I said, I always am interested in hearing what other people see. When we hop into the oracle cards, we'll pull 3 cards. If you have questions, you can push pause now and focus on your question, and we'll see if the answer comes up, or this could just be a clarity for the reading as a whole. And your first card is Illusion, Embracing the Truth. Fire. You're being shown an illusion of lack, of not good enough. I'm feeling this energy of the illusion here. This is the fakeness that is being pushed upon you, of being unworthy. This card is saying, when you are in the presence of the divine, God's source, the angels, your guides, you're not unworthy. You're worthy so much higher than what you ever could have possibly started with. When you look at this beautiful picture, this painting, her worth is not based on what she used to be. It's on who she is now. And what the energy I'm getting is, fire, step into your worthiness, accept your worthiness. It's not even stepping into it. It's literally accepting it, because you already have it. It's just a matter of acknowledging it. And break the illusion of lack, of less than, because that's not you. Fire, this is so not you. And fire, really, you're one of the more interesting aspects of elemental aspects, because you're so passionate, you're so alive, you're so vibrant in everything. You can warm everyone, you can burn them all down too, but you can warm everybody by your very presence. And the illusion is that you're not good enough, but you are. Remember that. You are enough. You're actually better than enough. Your second card is Epiphany, Seeking Clarity. Dance. Fire, you're the phoenix. Rise from your own ashes. Embrace this new day. Embrace this change. Embrace life again. The Epiphany and your immediate future, the next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, are dancing. They're celebrating. They're growing. They're expanding. Feel the joy. The Epiphany comes when you accept the future, when you accept how wonderful you are. And I'm not a fluffy bunny person, but with the Epiphany card, this is literally saying the aha moment strikes, and all of a sudden it dawns on you how far you've moved, what you've achieved. If you go back through your journals and your lists and your vision boards from 5-6 years ago, even 10 years ago, look at how far you've come. See how many things you can check off of lists, because I can guarantee you it's a lot more than you thought. And your third card here is the Dragonfly. Live life to the fullest. Get into that flow state, celebrate, and expand. This is your month to rise from the ashes, fire. You're the phoenix. Rise with the beauty and the glory of what that actually means. You may have been pushed down. You may have been stepped on. You may have had to deal with traumas and dramas and who knows what else. Everyone's got a story, and they're fascinating. But fire, you stand in the position of balance between beauty and severity. Your future is celebration. The Dragonfly is saying, embrace who you are in this moment. Embrace the wonderful, maybe even chaotic mess that you are. But you are where you want to be. You may not be where you are hoping to exist one day. None of us are. That's what we're here for. But you have that ability now to live life to the fullest. Embrace the joy. Embrace the love. Even if there may be some heartache along the way, say thank you for the lesson and move forward in beauty. Because that's where you're at, fire. You are in the state of growth, of beauty, and of a dawning awareness is the phrase I keep hearing. So we'll go with that. With that, fire, it looks like you have an awesome month. There could be a little bit of a ups and downs there for a second, but the overall outcome is looking really good for you. Celebrate, get into that flow state, and just like the Dragonfly, live life to the fullest. And I will see you in the next video.